Let me start that again. Yo, welcome to the first episode of Good Conversations with me, Michael Askew, and my right-hand man.
It's Dave. Me, Dave.
It's Dave. We've got bored over lockdown, so we thought, why not start a podcast? And luckily, we live with some amazing people as our first guests. So we have Ryan Deag.
Hi.
And Humphrey Luck.
Hi.
Yeah. Thank you for being on our first podcast.
No worries, man. Pleasure.
I'm really excited to be here for my first ever podcast experience.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think this is all of our first podcast.
Yeah, brand new.
Yeah, we joked about doing this. I don't know, probably 6 months ago, and now we're here. We got forced.
I think there's been enough lockdown.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it.
But the idea is we just been like, invite our musical friends on and just talk about life, music, and have a good time. So, just to clarify as well that we all do live together. So we're not breaking any COVID rules or any of that. If anyone's going to get funny about that, I'm sure they won't, because...
Oh, they will.
They will, yes.
Yeah, definitely will.
There will be one person.
We need some 2 meter rule up in there.
Yeah, 2 meter.
Yeah. Get your mask on, mate.
So Ryan's in an act called Nierra Creek, and Humphrey, you're in MarthaGunn.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Thank you for coming on. I mean, you live with us, so you don't really have,
I had no choice.
You don't really have much of a choice. So, but we all kind of did you guys meet at uni?
Yeah. We met like in the second week, or I don't know, month in or something.
Yeah, like a month, 2 months in.
Yeah.
I walked into a classroom. Humphrey was wearing a Loud shirt. I wore Loud shirts. Thought he looks cool. So when I sat next to him, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Did you engage it? Did you make the first move?
Well, yeah, I just, I was the last person into the classroom, scoped it out. Who do I sit next to? Probably the guy that's got the shirt closest to mine.
Yeah.
It's a smart move.
That was back when really loud shirts were
a thing.
Yeah. That's how you knew someone was cool.
Yeah.
The louder the shirt, the cooler you were.
2013?
That was 2013, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Now they're just festival shirts.
Just festivals with tie-dye,
yeah.
bandana.
I've definitely still got a few.
I all of mine are gone.
Under my bed.
I'd actually really love to imagine if you could have traces on all your pieces of clothing, and when you give them to charity shops, track them down years later.
Imagine who's wearing your stuff.
Yeah. I sometimes I think, because one time I gave so much shit to one charity shop, which was my whole old wardrobe of Loud shirts.
Yeah.
And I reckon whoever went there and got one probably got all of them. So there's someone vicariously living as me.
Or...
No, I just figured because it was probably all a similar taste. If you if it's so loud, if you like one of them, you probably want all of them. Get the set.
Yeah, get the set. I used to do a bandana. I remember doing a bandana when I was in probably the end of first year. So I was 20. You know the ones where people go to a festival and they wear a bandana.
Where
you wrap it around your forehead.
We wrapped it around your forehead, and I had a fringe going on. And I remember my lecturer. He was just everyone was kind of taking the mic, and then my lecturer was like, "Oh yeah, you look like a cool rock dude." At that moment, I knew it was.
That was the end.
It was gotta go. I would never wear a bandana ever again.
Yeah, Loud shirt, bandana, 400 festival bands, just. Your arm has to be amputated.
I literally had a rash that smelled like prawn crackers once because from an infection from too many festival wristbands.
Oh, mate.
Maybe just edit that.
No, that's staying in. I don't really remember meeting you guys. To be honest, I don't actually even with you, Dave, I don't remember the first memory of
I remember meeting. Our first memory. We both helped out that girl Naomi. Because she wanted help with her project for our uni class. So we went to uni as well, all same uni. And this girl Naomi, who I knew, she was like, "Oh, can you come play bass with me for this assignment thing I've got? I'm working on this song." So I turn up there and this little rehearsal studio, and it's me and her, and then Mike here.
Yeah.
And we just didn't know each other at all.
Yeah.
She played this song. Neither of us were very confident. We basically just kind of looked down at our instruments and noodled a little bit. Yeah. And then we left that and we had to do a performance of that.
Did we?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
really,
it was.
to be honest.
Wow.
Oh, really?
You might have blanked it out.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah,
maybe.
but that was it. And then lo and behold, like a year later, we ended up in a band together,
Yes.
and
yes,
the
we
rest
did.
is history.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Because I don't really remember meeting you. I just always remember
Yeah.
there was like a mutual respect.
I don't know about
between you and
respect,
I. Yeah.
but no, I'm kidding.
Completely, like-
But we I never like properly hung out with either of you until I moved in here.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
were on the other side of the year. So there were basically
Yeah.
two sides to like the song. We were both doing songwriting, and Ryan was doing songwriting as well.
Yeah.
But we were basically on the separate side, like different years.
Yeah, and you just never really crossed paths. But like, I think we were always all aware of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of nice how we kind of, after uni, came together
yeah,
and formed more of a group and a bond.
yeah.
It's cool. I
Sure.
remember you working at the Mesmerist bar in Brighton. Behind the bar, served me.
Don't remember any of it.
I've got like a faint recollection of you. Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to
outside
think.
dim one time, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember we
It's all
first
merged
properly
into one.
bonded over because we did production second year together.
Ah, yeah.
Do you remember? And
Yeah.
that's because we kind of knew of one another, but that was at that point where we kind of properly
Yeah, sure.
actually started talking. Then we went on some like dirty nights out. And,
Of course. I was about to say when you said, like, I remember, yeah, I thought it would have been bonding over something else, but something we can't talk about.
We'll skip over that. Probably edit that out, but in case my mum's watching. But yeah, now we're all here in this house. I remember. I feel like you didn't know that I lived here because I remember the day
No,
that
I
you
totally
moved-
did. I totally did.
I just felt
Yeah.
like when I came downstairs, you were just like, "Oh, Michael," and I was just like, "Yeah."
No, I always knew this as like
Oh,
the Island Clubhouse because that's your
okay.
old band,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I knew this house was the house where all you guys were. It was like this mythical place.
This mythical
Yeah.
place.
For those that don't know, me and Mike had an old band called Island Club, and we did that for a few years with a couple of our friends.
Yeah.
And we all lived in this house together for a while, and then slowly, like, people wanted to go do different things, but me and Mike evolved into the new band we do, Good Peach, which is this. And just got friends to live here as well and keep the musical vibes going.
It's a very musical house, which is a nice place, nice atmosphere, because you kind of
Yeah,
go
for
downstairs
sure.
and you go,
Great.
"Oh my god, someone's working on something really cool. I must do better."
Yeah, motivation.
It strives you to new
Heights,
new heights,
horizons.
horizons.
I actually think
You're-
you guys are selling yourself short with the name Good Peach. Like you could have gone for Excellent Peach.
excellent,
Or like,
Peach, yeah.
It's about the
Yeah.
modesty, man.
yeah.
Gotta be modest,
All right.
and then
Giant.
allow the people to make up
Hey?
their own mind.
Giant.
Giant Peach.
giant peach.
It's a bit too
Yeah.
close. Copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Offending.
Giant peach.
So yeah, obviously you guys like knew each other. You used to be in a band together as well.
Yeah.
Very briefly, yes.
Named
Yeah.
after Lucasade.
Lucasade.
Yeah.
Lucasana.
Yeah.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well-
my housemate in first year,
It's pretty sad.
he used to like go and buy a bottle of Lucasade for his hangover. And one morning I came into the kitchen and he had a little bottle of Lucasade and was like having myself a little bit of a Lucasana. And I thought it sounded like a Mexican actor or something.
It always reminded me of La Chosa, the Mexican
La
restaurant.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
It was sick.
Yeah.
I remember going to see you guys at the Joker in Brighton.
That was
Yeah.
mad, yeah.
And
I was meant to go, but I think I wasn't.
You should have
18.
come.
You should have gone.
We, our
was
friends
fun.
put on the show. We were supporting a band called Bay, of which one of them is in the Magic Gang and one of them is in Our Girl and Big Moon.
Supergroup.
Supergroup, yeah, it did feel like a supergroup, but we brought like loads of people, and it was over capacity by quite a lot because we'd filled the room.
We were a hot ticket back
We were a
then.
hot ticket back
yeah.
then, yeah. So we filled the room, and then obviously family and some friends left, but then it just kept going, and it was just chaos.
Yeah, it was a
The
round
whole
room. I
night.
remember that. Just.
I mean, we were quite chilled, but the other acts, it was a lot of people thrown in the air, which was great fun.
It's funny thinking back to that time. Like when I think back to that gig, like my prevailing memory is like that was a period when I was performing, I physically couldn't look up. Like
Yeah,
I was just too scared to look at the audience. So if I was, it'd be kind of like like
shoegaze
under my forehead, like just checking it and then back down to my feet.
Yeah.
Like now it's like
funny.
dead eye contact.
Yeah. When did you find the point that you could actually escape from that by looking down and actually enjoy looking at the audience?
That's a good question. I actually know exactly what did that. Like I definitely wanted to just become a better performer. So it was more like there was a lot of like just forcing myself. But the band Parcels, after the first time I saw them live, or maybe just watching them on YouTube, I just remember having this really like profound like feeling of like, wow, that's what it's like to actually enjoy playing live. And like I've always enjoyed playing live, but I'd never at that point properly let myself and just let go. And like watching them, just it was like suddenly I realized that you could. So yeah,
that's very cool. Did you ever have a problem with?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started with the band before, that was kind of like my first ever proper band, I suppose, where we play in shows that weren't like college or anything like that. So it was difficult to get in the swing of things, but I come from like theatrical background, so I kind of just like method act it and kind of pretend I was someone else, and that kind of helps.
Yeah.
I think now with Nierra Creek, it's such a personal project lyrically and just, you know, visually, that I have to be myself, which is quite cool. So the first gig with that, shit scared, horrible, kind of looked at the floor most of the time. Or I was always told when you perform on stage, you should look like above the audience, basically, like pretend there's like a light at the back. But yeah, after that show, I think we supported these guys in London, and I had no choice but to be good, you know, because there may have been people there that see us and it would, you know, have been a good thing. So I suppose that ramped me into it, really. And then now I just want to be in the crowd the whole time, which is hopefully something that will happen soon.
Yeah, that's like the next level I want to unlock. Like, jumping in.
Can I just jump in there?
Just take a solo in amongst the
yeah. No, I just like I've seen a few bands like I think that do that, and sometimes it pays off really well, sometimes it doesn't. But we saw Dog Is Dead before they fell off a bit, and
was that Sticky Mike's?
Yeah.
I
and they all got in the crowd, and it was a real moment because like at this point they come back and did the DID thing. And
was that the show we opened for them?
It might have been actually.
Yeah, maybe it was. They did like the really intimate thing.
Yeah.
And it was like nostalgic, but in like a only 5 years ago kind of thing when I saw it, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. Like
the whole venue just went quiet.
Really quiet, and then there's like someone in the background talking, "Oh, shut up."
That was a mad night actually.
Yeah, that was really
for
fun.
us and for me personally, because I've been following Dog Is Dead since I was probably about 15, 16.
Yeah.
You know, kind of when they were kind of new, and then they kind of their rise up, and then when they released their album, and I've got some of like their singles on vinyl, and I remember finding out that we were supporting them, and I completely lost my shit, and I was just like, oh my god, and the fact I was gonna like meet them, it kind of blew my mind a bit. And we went, we played the show, and like they whilst we were playing, they were kind of getting some food, which didn't really bother me because, you know, the whole experience in itself was, you know, just magical. So, but I remember kind of just before they went on, they were warming up in the green room, and I kind of just went in. I was like, excuse me, and they were just like, yo, and I was like, I just want to say that I love you guys, and like, I want to, you know, I've been following you guys for ages, and it's just been such an honor to like support you. And they were like, oh yeah, come out with us like after, and I think we're gonna go like Casablanca's, and we went out, and I had possibly one of the best nights of my life, just crying onto the singer's shoulder about, you know, after X amount of tequilas, just being like, I love you.
Dude, I have a great story for you because of this.
All right, go for it.
I'm so happy that you had that experience because you might not have done, because I was meant to be supporting them that night. And I refused. Really? Yeah, not me personally, or me as part of a group, but basically my friend from back home in York, he knows them, and he asked them if we could support like my old band from like when I was 16, if we could. He wanted to get that band back together to support them in Brighton, and they said yes. And at the time, I was like, I just really like it was kind of ego-y, but like. It was like for him, music was a hobby, and then for me, it was like I'm a serious musician. And I was like, I just really didn't want to put the energy into doing it because it would have been a lot of effort, or it felt like a lot of effort. So I said no. So like,
you could have taken my dream away from
yeah,
me.
no,
Yeah.
but isn't that so? That's so
crazy.
cool that happened. Like, I'm glad I said no.
Yeah, I'm glad you said
What was
no.
that band? What band
You
was
would've-
that?
Arabia.
Arabia.
Yeah.
Everyone look them up
Nice.
online.
Yeah. But it's really nice when you support a band that you really look up to, and they do kind of take you under your wing and really like show a nice stumble my words.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
they
it's
take
nice,
you under your wing and they kind of like just help you.
and they respect that.
They
and
respect
they're-
the night
and they're
and
humble
just,
about
like-
it as well.
Yeah.
Because there'd be nothing worse than like supporting a band you love, and then you're just like, you guys are sick, and they're just like, all right, mate, chill out.
Yeah,
'Cause
mate.
if they did do that, then they'd be knobs.
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
they?
why they say
yeah.
don't meet your heroes.
Yeah,
But-
they do say that.
But
yeah.
on that note,
I met Justin
I was
Vernon,
so
it was
happy
great.
to meet my heroes of 16. With Justin Vernon, he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah. Lovely, warm person.
Seems
Yeah.
wholesome, yeah.
Did you hug
Yeah.
him?
Yeah, I did.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. How was
Yeah.
that?
It was warm.
Where
it
was
warm?
this?
It was at
Just a
Bush Stock
big
in
warm
London
hug.
in like 2017,
Mm.
and just went sheepishly up to him
Nice.
and
Excuse
shared a
me.
moment.
Excuse me, Justin.
Can't think
Yeah.
of who have I met. That's met the Chuckle Brothers. That was cool.
doesn't get bigger than that.
Pre-death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't die. That was the whole thing.
No, he did.
No.
One of them
Literally, we
died.
met them and we said, "Oh, I thought you were dead." And then he was like,
Yes,
"Which
and I-
story did you hear?" And I was like, "There was one with some woman that you paid sex for." And
No,
then he
Ryan,
was like,
you
"Oh yeah, I
know-
like that one."
You know, one of the Chuckle Brothers is literally dead.
What now?
Yeah.
Well, at the time, I think.
Oh,
At the time, it was rumored because even like Keenan and Kel, that's rumored that one of
Okay.
them died in a car crash, but it's a lie.
It's quite a brave
The
conversation.
Frosties kid. They all said he died. He isn't dead.
That was all school
That was
stuff,
pencil up
wasn't
the
It's
it?
nose.
actually
no?
Mike. He's just
Pencil up the
changed-
nose.
Dyed his
He
hair.
got pencil up the
Yeah.
nose. I didn't get that.
I got like
I
I
got-
got teased so much, and he put a pencil on a table and like just slammed his head on it or something.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So
Where? Who
morbid.
thinks up this shit?
But I think Vice found him and like
Right.
interviewed him. They
Yeah.
also found a girl. What is it? Who doesn't know how to flush the toilet after taking a shit?
Did they?
One of us. Yeah, to find out who it
Follow.
was. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was the whole thing. Who was it that took the shit? Great.
And go on. Who was it?
I can't actually remember, but I
Oh,
suppose it doesn't really
anticlimax.
matter, does
We'll
it?
cut it in here.
I was fucking one of yes.
Was the mum? That would have been the best.
That would have been. Yeah.
Imagine blaming
Or
your
the dad.
kids.
That'd
Yeah.
be on like NBC News.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. For people who care. Does anyone?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think if I was gonna get one of those like trashy tattoos that people get, like
Mm.
you know, like someone got like Bernie Sanders with the thing,
Hmm.
with
The
the
gloves.
mask. Yeah,
It's
I think I would get the I'm gonna sing Cher Lloyd by Cher Lloyd just on me. It'd be so good. I play a gig and then just get it out and then sing
Just
Cher
make it
Lloyd by
happen.
Cher
So
Lloyd.
attached that you can just unflat.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing Cher Lloyd.
I mean, I'm more than happy to chip in for that.
yeah.
Right.
If you
okay.
guys are, and then we.
I think
Depends
we
where I'd
should
get
do
it.
it on this podcast.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think I'd have
We
to get it
should
on my bum.
exploit you for more content.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, let's do a GoFundMe.
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna set up a GoFundMe
For Cher Lloyd by
for
Cher
Cher
Lloyd.
Lloyd by Cher Lloyd for Ryan.
Tattooed on me.
Tattooed on his knee. I'm imagining.
Yeah, just above it.
Just
I don't-
above
I don't know
it.
if you can get your kneecap. Can you? Yeah, you
I
can
know
get
I
anywhere
heard the
tattooed,
kneecap
can you?
really hurts, but I'm sure you can still get it on your
I
kneecap.
probably want to get it on my bum so I can't see it, but then I couldn't get that out really at shows.
Yeah, you could.
You
Well,
can do
it's a
whatever
bit
you
more
want.
questionable.
I mean, well, within reason.
could ask.
You can do whatever you want, but there
at
may
the
be
shows that
consequences.
are 18 and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
yeah,
the matinee.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably more.
Not the matinee shows. Maybe that's how they'd cram in like gigs when we get back, is there would just be loads of lunchtime matinees.
Yeah,
Like,
double the amount.
Yeah.
Double the amount.
I'm gonna go see Slipknot at 12.
Just a retirement home.
Midday. I'd go definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go and see it. Can you imagine Slipknot turn up to like
At 12
an
o'clock.
12 o'clock, old people's home.
Yeah.
They'd
Mass-
love it.
The massive system, like, oh, did you hear about the, obviously with like COVID happening, or I read about, there's a place in Belgium and it's like an old people's home and a Santa went in to give gifts. I think one of you two might have told me about this. I'm not sure, I can't remember. But Santa, like a guy dressed up basically as Santa, but Santa is real, went in to give gifts at an old people's home, but he had COVID. and I think he made about like it's not funny.
Fuck.
It's not.
That isn't funny.
It's not.
That was
funny.
an awkward laughter.
Like
laughing at a
He
funeral.
killed 19 people died,
Jesus.
and I think he infected like 80 or something. Yeah,
Fuck.
mental. That's pretty morbid.
Wow. What?
Oh,
Merry Christmas.
Hang on.
Yeah,
and
Merry
he wasn't wearing a
Christmas.
fake beard as a mask.
I don't know. I read it on. I think I read it on Metro or something. This was like obviously during Christmas because when else would Santa be
It's
around?
pretty hardcore.
Yeah. Anyway,
Or maybe it was one of the people that worked at the home, but they're just shifting the blame.
shifting the
He's
blame.
like, he's the
Shifting.
blame
They made this
Santa.
whole elaborate thing to try and cover it up.
Right. Okay. Let's.
How about a bit of product placement?
Yeah.
I'm starting to open this, but I really want to make a moment of it.
What were we drinking? What's everybody drinking?
What's
Popped.
that? Hang on, okay.
No.
What's that you've got there, Humphrey?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Dr. Pepper, Mike.
Oh, it seems like that, but bad boy wants to be cracked open.
I think it does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
That's good,
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
Can we get a quick review?
Yeah.
You didn't get.
Yeah, right.
There we go. That's
Nice.
what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all the review you need.
Yeah, that's it.
Dr. Pepper from a mug.
Yeah, with like coffee stains in it, or like
Or
coffee residue.
Dr. Pepper.
Nice.
Small caffeine.
What flavour is Dr. Pepper?
Cherry.
Is it?
I think.
No.
No. What is it?
There isn't actually a flavour. It's like 76 different flavours or something. Doesn't it say on the can?
I don't know. It's kind of like.
Well, it say like
Dandelion
fruit
burdock.
flavoured, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it tastes like marzipan.
It does taste like. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, cool. So, I mean, we all got into music. We all went to the same university to study music. But the real question is how did we get into music? Let's start with you, Dave.
Oh, cool. So I started music when I was really young. Basically, in assembly at school, this guy walked in with a double bass to the assembly, and he started playing it. And he was like, "Who wants to learn lessons?" And I was like, "That looks cool. I'll do that." So I did that for a few years.
Nice.
And then my parents were really supportive, and they said, "Well, if you're doing double bass, you might as well do bass guitar." So my dad got me my first bass, and just did that all through school. Through playing double bass, I ended up playing in orchestras. I did like junior youth orchestras and stuff, and did like a couple tours of Europe with the orchestra, which was really cool. But from like literally like 12 years old, like I knew that I wanted to do music as a career. And then really luckily, like BIM, the music university, was in Brighton where I grew up. So I was like, yeah, obvious choice, just go there. And like my whole plan was just to meet people, start a band, and
Did
do
your
that.
parents do music at all?
No, not really. Like my mum literally just like tone deaf, like nothing. And then like my dad like plays a bit of guitar and sings a bit, but not really. They've just like really supported me, but it was kind of, they got me into it, but I kind of worked out the rest from there.
Yeah, I've never heard your dad's. I never knew your dad sung a bit.
It's
Colin,
dad,
I'm coming for you.
it's dad singing. It's
Is it dad singing?
Yeah.
That makes me want to hear it even more.
Well, maybe we'll arrange gigs sometime.
Great.
But yeah, just started doing that. Didn't really, same as you were saying, didn't really gig before I had my first band. And kind of learned my craft through just going to like uni and practicing there, and then like first gigs and just first couple of years just kind of getting a feel for it. And
Nice.
that's how I got into it.
How about you guys? Were your parents musical masterminds, or did you just kind of be like, "Oh, this will be fun," and then 10 years later, we're here?
My mum was a little bit musical, played like chords on the guitar.
Nice.
My first memory is actually her singing, do you know Kumbaya?
Yeah.
She was singing that to me as I went to
Campfire.
sleep. That's my earliest memory.
Oh, that's nice. Soothing.
My dad likes the idea of it. He had a midlife crisis once and bought even loads of secondhand brass instruments and like made us all try them. So I started playing. When I was younger, I played trombone. But School of Rock is what really tipped it for me.
Nice,
Like,
Jack Black.
yeah, like Freddie on the drums.
Did you want to
Like-
be the teacher's pet?
you want to be
I don't know what to say.
you want to be a drummer.
I think School of
I
Rock.
wanted to be a drummer. Yeah.
School of Rock got everyone into music.
for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
The real question is how they managed to sell the venue out.
In the middle of the day on the school
day.
No,
day.
it was about the bands.
I want to get that promoter, and I want to hire him.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he is mind blowing.
Hang on, which what the School of Rock people?
The end of the film.
Yeah.
Where they have the concert, and it's like bang
Isn't
in
it
the
Battle
middle of the
of the Bands,
day.
though?
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
And they the whole venue was rammed. Do people not have jobs? Was this on a Saturday, but it's on a school day? So you know, I feel like I need an explanation here.
I don't know, but
really
I went up to like last year thinking that the band that Jack Black is in the beginning, called No Vacancy, was a real band, but they're not. They were made for the show because they got was it
I'm heartsick.
I'm lonely.
I used to love that.
Yeah, I thought it was such a good tune.
I've got 2 copies of the soundtrack on CD downstairs.
Great.
Everyone wants to.
Actually, when we lived together before, we used to with Max as well. We used to just play the soundtrack and sing it a lot.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
That sounds great. Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's sad. It's not sad.
It's not sad.
It's
You should be
good times.
Yeah, exactly. Good times. Yeah, no,
There's a lockdown thought
what?
for everyone. Just get the School of Rock soundtrack.
School of Rock, yeah.
Turn it on.
Yeah.
And
Have a good
dance around
time.
your room naked, like
There
no
we go.
one's watching.
Yeah.
So School of Rock has got you
Yeah.
into music.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
My first my pet, none of my family musical. My mum would say she is, but she likes, just like Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
That's about it, really. My dad brought us up on like a bit of Michael Jackson, that kind of, and like Motown, but
Questionable.
also sorry, Thou Who Shall Not Be Named, Motown and Kraftwerk, basically. And then my first I was in like, must have been like year 4 or something. My friend Bryn, his sister, went to like a rock school summer thing, and we picked her up in his mum's van, and I remember his sister had like pink hair at the time or something. I just thought it was so cool, and I was like, we're going here next year. And then me and him started this little Green Day covers band, and obviously we're like 8 years old or something. And we thought we were really sick, and I just hit the snare drum really out of time.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, and then didn't do music at all really until end of school. My mate Luke Spears taught me a few chords, and then when I went to college, I thought I'd do music because I was going to do drama. I was going to be an actor. That's what I thought I was going to do. Maybe I will be that at some point.
Never too late.
Yeah.
Switch over.
Build into it.
Yeah,
10
exactly.
years from now.
Do a Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah. And then, so that was good. And then I did it at college. I was in a band called The Vessels.
Vessels.
Yeah, we were drunk most of the time.
You went on a TV show, didn't you?
Yeah, so when I was when I set up all the drama school auditions, my mum thought it'd be a good idea if I auditioned for this TV show to sing, and then I went, and the first one was in either in Wales or Bristol. I never have any recollection, and I think I went with my girlfriend at the time, and you had to sing like an a cappella song, and then you had to do like another song, and I think I did Kings of Leon, not Sex on Fire. It was
You somebody?
Use Somebody by Kings of Leon.
Only other one.
And then I just and I got through. You like stood in a room with like 10 people, and then I got through that round. It was like, what the hell? And I had to wait around like 2 hours. And then I got pushed through the next round automatically. I don't really know how that worked, but then I was with like one of the producers of the show and someone else, and they like interview you. And then I played this angsty version of MGMT Electric Feel. And then I had to wait, basically. I didn't really care at that point. I was like, okay, I've done the energy, whatever. And then they ring me up. They're like, right, come to London. You're too young. Bring your dad. And then I was like, okay, well, go on a trip to London with my dad. And then I just kept getting through. And and then everyone else would get different songs. They're like, no, just keep doing that one, doing that one, doing that one. And I assume MGMT have listened to it, or whoever their publisher are, because they had to like okay me doing it. Anyway, got into the last 100 and then didn't get through.
That's pretty mental, though.
Like I got to the TV bit.
Yeah,
and then they didn't televise me.
Yeah.
But that's probably a good thing.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
it was good. Yeah, it was good learning.
Character development.
And then I was like, okay, music's cool. And
how old were you when you did that?
16.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I got into music quite late. Like I was doing music. I did like a music course at college. It's like a popular music studies or industries or something. I don't even know. Can't remember. Where you basically just like got in a band and like learned how to be in a band and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, I guess like even though it's not like a total real experience to what like the norm of the music industry is, it's like a pretty, for example, for someone who's like 15, 16, it's a pretty hard going experience. Well, I mean, like you're going to gain a lot of experience from it because, you know, it was hardcore. Yeah. There was like a lot of pressure, a lot of money thrown at it. Like we got paid to like get like all our expenses paid for and stuff. And like they bought you clothes and all this crap. And you had like a hairdresser and a vocal coach and a mentor. Because I was young as well, they give you like a therapist and stuff. It was really well thought out and well done. But yeah, it taught me how to just like deal with high pressure situations very quickly. And yeah,
that sounds like a great experience.
Yeah. It was good. I think I used to like be a bit like, don't want to talk about it, but I think it's, you know, I wouldn't suggest anyone does it now.
No,
like, I'm not really for these TV shows, but just for the experience, it was a good laugh. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, no, like going back to that, my parents used to listen to absolute trash. Like when you were saying like none of your parents' musical. Same with mine. I think my granddad used to play a bit of keys, and he used to play keys in a band, I think. But other than that, my parents, you know, I think the extent of what was being played in the car was Blue, the boy band Blue. Does anyone remember?
Oh that was a CD in my car.
Dido was a big
White Flag.
Yeah, White Flag. That was a big.
I think Blue split up because their name got done. They couldn't use their name anymore.
By Dabba Dee Dabba Die?
Was you? Oh, is that the joke? No, I think I just remember. Didn't they have a song called like
All Rise?
Kind of
All Right, absolute banger.
My not fondest, only memory of Blue.
It's got to be a fond memory.
I went with my mum to a house to buy something off like Gumtree, and like the teenage girl was watching Blue on the TV, and they came on. She was like, "Oh my god, it's Blue!"
Yeah, it's fucking Blue, man. Yeah, no, but I was always brought up around like, you know, kind of what the radio was given like
Will Young,
Will Young was a big thing. Like in my dad's car, it was Coldplay. A lot. Who else? He listened to the Monkees. I didn't really care about the Monkees. The Jam. He used to listen to the Jam. I love the Jam. But yeah, no, honestly, they were completely.
My dad actually listened to quite good music as I got older, though. Like I remember he used to love like Pendulum in the car and the Prodigy, just really loud, and he'd always like drum with his fingers driving.
Yeah,
just mouth it really.
Nice.
To be fair, like Pendulum, obviously because the members of Pendulum then went on to make Knife Party.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So and then Knife Party. I remember being in first year and blasting some like dubstep from my room, obviously really obnoxiously, so everyone could hear like down the street. I used to think I was like hot shit. I'd be like, yeah, everyone can fucking hear my dubstep. But I tell you what, they're great song. If you like listening to music when you're running, Knife Party is just pure, just like.
Man, I saw Knife Party at Reading like 2013
I remember
with my mate, and they had this whole haunted house stage on like built on the stage, and my mate, it was just so intense, and my mate passed out, and I literally had to drag him out, and we had to go to like the first aid bit.
Sounds like a good time.
Sounds like a great time. That's funny. But yeah, no, they my parents listened to. I mean, to be fair, I actually really enjoyed the music they played. I remember, but the defining moment for me was when I heard Keen Hopes and Fears for the first time. I remember going up. My parents had recently separated, and I was, you know, emotional, as any 10-year-old would be.
Deep now.
And I'm getting. This is
the sub story.
This is the deep part of the podcast where we try to
escape our traumas.
Yeah, exactly.
All of our parents have split up.
Sure. Oh, they have, haven't they? Yeah.
Who's haven't now?
It's weird now that if people's parents haven't split up.
Yeah. My parents are still together. Whoa.
That makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Are you okay?
But yeah, I remember going up to a trip to the Lake District with my dad and my brother, and I remember having those little, those MP3 players that was on like a USB stick.
Yeah.
And I remember having Keen Hopes and Fears on there, and I remember listening to it basically the whole holiday. And I was just like, holy shit, like music's amazing. But I then didn't start learning to play guitar until I was 14. Because I was jumping through different hobbies to like find out what I really wanted to do. And then I found it, and then I was just like, oh my God, this is it. But I was also like you, Ryan, I was torn between doing drama and music. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed drama. It was fun. It was cool. I think we had a very nice, class. A lot of it was my friends and stuff like that. But I think the ultimate decision came down to what did I do in my own time? Music, like being in bands and stuff. And what was I willing to go out, in my own time and do? And then, so I kind of made that decision and stuck with it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I only listened to like chart music until I was 18. I just watched what was on TV, what was on the radio. And it wasn't until I actually like got in a band that I kind of broadened my horizon.
Yeah, you were mad for Macklemore, weren't you?
Yeah. I was like influenced by the pop music that I saw at the time.
That's great, man.
But then like at a later date kind of broadened my horizon.
Yeah.
But like I had little drips and drabs through my childhood, like not really from my parents, but like my cousins would listen to like Arctic Monkeys. And then I had a really cool guitar teacher who would just teach me all these like crazy stuff like Stranglers and stuff. And Frank Zappa, and he'd kind of influenced me from this side that I'd just never been exposed to, which was really cool.
That's an interesting point, actually. I remember reading somewhere saying that when you get to your late 20s and early 30s, not that we're there yet, I just clarify that we're not there, but when you get to an older age, you don't make the effort to go out there and find new music. And because I remember when I was like 16, 17, you'd listen to a new band, you'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. It really affects you in a way. Do you find now being that little bit older that you can still come across acts that give you that same buzz? And like, how often are you actually finding new music that you really, really like kind of actually emotionally connect to, or you're inspired by?
I think it's like all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think I find more new music now than I ever have. But I do think my taste has developed a lot. Like, I've gone from like Guns N' Roses being my favorite band to, I don't have a favorite band, but like very different to Guns N' Roses
Good
now.
Peach.
Good Peach, exactly. But like, I think that would be normal people, normies. The people that aren't musicians. Like, I don't know, because you were saying earlier that you find it hard to find new music.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, I think at the moment, like, it's rare that I come across, like, a new band that I really enjoy. Like, that hits me, like, emotionally in the way that something would when I was 15, 16, 17. But I think that's, again, because you're like you said, I think your taste develops over time, but then also I think now, like, I hate it. I hate being like stuck in my ways with things. Like, I don't want to be like, this is all I listen to. But then sometimes I feel I'm in a bit of a hole sometimes. Yeah. But then like, I can listen to bands and it's like nostalgic, like, well, any band between like 2000 and 2010, like Arctic Monkeys and stuff like that. That's nostalgic. But like now, I think it's because music, there's so much music coming out, like insane, like all the time. It's really hard to grasp things because I find, especially within like the poppier side of the music world, it's like things grab the attention of that young demographic for a very short amount of time. Like with TikTok or
such a short attention span.
Yeah, the attention span's so small. So, you get these artists come out and it's like they blow up and you're like, yeah, they're huge. And then literally after that first, it doesn't even take an album now. It's like 3 songs, maybe 2 songs. It's like no one knows who they are anymore. And that's why I think I just find it hard to grab this thing, because it's like as soon as I might slightly get interested in something, they just disappear. So then it's like, but there are bands that come through and I'm like, oh, these are sick and I really enjoy it. But I do find it difficult now to sit and scroll. Like, I suppose I used to just scroll through YouTube, you know. I don't really do that anymore. And also, if I do, I'm probably watching cooking shows. Yeah, you know, like I'm watching Matty Matheson or something like that. I'm not, or like I'm watching someone build a kayak out of reclaimed wood. Like we sound really old, but like it's true. Like I'm more interested in finding those things than finding new music. But but then I always think to myself, I need to find new music. But then I do find it through Seb, who's in my project.
So I feel like you give me loads of new music.
Yeah, I know. So well, like... that's it. And then I go, oh, actually, I do know loads of new bands. So
but maybe
it's good to give each other new stuff.
Maybe it's not like having those really like intense connections with something that lacks maybe as you get older. Because I feel like when you're basically when you're going through puberty, because like hormonally you're all over the place, and just the experiences you have there then for most people are really formative. I reckon you become quite attached in a different way to like what you're exposed to, like, you know, like you, and there's so many firsts at that point. Like the first time, like I remember like the first time I found like, I don't know, like Green Day or something, which was like totally new to anything I'd listened to before. So it was like, it was so new. So I think it's probably harder to find those things that really like blow you away.
Absolutely.
Because you know, just the more you live.
But like, also when you're like 15, you can dedicate loads of attention and time. You can just sit there and listen to someone's entire discography, and you don't have to worry about all of the other boring things in life that your parents would have had to have worried about at the time. Yeah. So I suppose it is that you just.
I think it also comes down to knowledge, though. Is in, for example, I remember listening to, as an example, Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon for the first time. And this is before I started learning playing guitar. And I remember being in my room and I heard it. And when he hits that high note on like the chorus, and it's just such a kind of big sound, like his voice is created. I remember hearing it and I was being like, fuck, that's fucking amazing. I remember just playing it on repeat and repeat and repeat. Whereas obviously now we're, you know, quite established in what we're doing in regards to our knowledge of it.
Yeah, when you do something for 5 years, you have a greater understanding of what goes into
it. Like how it's done and stuff like that. And you're like, I feel like now, rather than, obviously I admire like if an album's, you know, sonically great and like cohesive and stuff like that, and it works as like a whole piece. But I kind of find more, as a producer, more interesting points to like kind of individual moments of a song. It's like, okay, cool, that's really great, or that's really great, or always use that.
So maybe actually what it is then is that we're more critical now of like music, and we understand all of the different things that are going on, that it's hard to just love something for the sake of loving it. You know, so like
you have a higher standard.
When I first heard Arctic Monkeys, I'm still playing a tennis racket as a guitar. So I'm going, this is amazing because I don't understand how it's made. Yeah. You know? So there's that naivety, and that's the same as what you said with like learning something new. Did you say that? No. What did you say? I can't remember.
So like like things are less new to you now.
Yeah. So things are less new. You're like learning something new. Like, so you just have this like, there's this unknown part of finding music, you know?
But also like there's like Arctic Monkeys, like when we were growing up, when their like first couple of albums were coming out, like the sound of those albums just reflected, and like it just reflected what teenagers feel.
Yeah. I was in the backseat of the car, just like headphones in, full volume. Like, and like they say, it changes when the sun goes down.
That's a real, but that's such a specific, unique part of your life.
They captured a moment in time. It's harder to do that now.
There's too much out there.
There's too much. Yeah.
The lines are blurred.
And also because everything's blown up in the media as well. Like, so we didn't have, now you see me. No, what's that album called?
Whatever You Say I Am Is What I'm Not.
Yeah, so that's 15 years old this year.
Fuck, you know.
Yeah. So when that came out, if I think rightly, social media probably didn't exist. So you're not flooded with stuff.
The first album was like 2007.
So to be culturally relevant, you basically had to just get the newspapers on your side and all this stuff.
Longer.
Now, being culturally relevant can last like a minute.
Yeah.
You know, because like something crazy happened, like This Is America, Childish Gambino, perfect timing. Yeah. You know, like bam,
That's rare.
you're in.
And
that's
one
rare,
song.
and he smashed it, and he did that. But to
Yeah.
do that now is just so difficult.
That was still with one song, you know, like
yeah,
having
one.
an
That's what
album
I'm saying.
that
Yeah,
is
one
totally,
song
like,
exactly.
I don't
And
even know if that could happen, like a whole album.
To drop a whole album that is culturally relevant,
Yeah.
you'd have to basically write it, record it, get it mastered within about 2 days.
Yeah.
That's why. But that's the thing is like why albums are becoming almost obsolete.
Yeah.
You know, I think the idea of an album is you can release like a full body of work, and it's great. But I don't feel like they're as, you know, they're as key as they once were.
I think artistically, as an artist, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
absolutely. It's like
To the world receiving it,
Yeah,
it's
less-
scary though, because that's all I want to do is make albums. Like, obviously singles are great, but like to me that's the afterthought. You know, I want to make the album and then you pick the singles. You know, like,
that's just like to.
I don't want to
people's
make the
attention.
singles and then find the filler. You
that's,
know?
that's
Yeah.
an interesting point. Do you write then for Nierra Creek, as in like you're thinking that it's because you wrote an album basically of worth of songs over the first lockdown.
Yeah.
So like, do you think of like when you're writing that I'm writing for an album, or do you think of like per track or
Not at all. So I literally don't think. so that's the best way of explaining it is like me and Seb just get into a room and there's no thought. It's just he creates a vibe with modular synths or just, you know, whatever he's got going on in the box. And usually, well, now since we wrote a song that has become probably our most single song that will come out eventually, the best way for us to write is that he makes this vibe and then I just have one of these, an SM58, and I stand and run around his room shouting whatever comes to my mind, or singing, sorry, whatever comes to my mind, whether that's on his bed, behind him, in front of the desk, on the desk, whatever. I just go, it's almost like that acting thing, you know, I go into this like method acting state of thinking about either my current emotion, a time of my life, or whatever, and I just go into that and just whatever comes out. And I think when we wrote the album, it was like we'd wrote like, I don't know, 15, 16 songs, and it was just like, well, could this work as an album? And then we kind of tried to piece it all together and sonically piece it together, and we're like, yeah, this sounds great, and this really works. And then they're all demos now, you know, like probably won't release it as an album, but it's and then out of that you can go, well, that's the single because it's the catchiest one, you know, or like it's the shortest one. Like we write songs sometimes and they're like 12 minutes long, and we've got to condense because I'm running around for 12 minutes, and then we've got to condense it down to 4 or 3. Or now people release songs at a minute.
Yeah, I think a minute, 50. Yeah, no, I think. Well, especially if like that body was written in like a small amount of time. I think it definitely depends because obviously over a couple of years you definitely develop, you kind of get new ideas, you get new tastes and stuff like that. So I think like certainly if you can write, if your plan is to do an album, if you can write that body of work in, I don't know, let's say a year. But then again, it's like it's different for everyone. Like for example, I can't. We probably have, I don't know, 2 albums worth of songs, you know, mostly demos and stuff like that. I don't think about when I like write or like produce, I don't think about albums at all. I think about every individual song given its own character, because I used to write more from like personal experience, and now as of recent, bearing in mind the circumstances, my life isn't as interesting as it could be.
Eventful.
It's
still interesting.
Yeah, my life is interesting. I am an interesting person.
Making coffee.
You haven't gone to any events.
Making coffee and writing beats.
But someone will find it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
but I love writing. You know, I think with Good Peeps, there's definitely some songs where it is from a personal experience and it is from like how I'm feeling or like my opinions or something. But I also really enjoy writing from a story, basically, about not necessarily about me.
Like something you've come up with.
Yeah, like non-fiction.
Yeah, I find it really difficult.
Fiction. Is it fiction?
You mean fiction? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about fiction.
I find it really difficult to do that. Like,
yeah,
for me, I think the reason why this album came about was because it embodied this period of time in my life, like when I was at college kind of time, and all of the songs were about that time, and it was almost like therapy for me to relive all those moments in being creatively expressive without sounding too much of a knob. Yeah, so for me it's that, and like the other day we wrote together, and
yes, we did our first session together. Yeah.
And
how was that for you?
Yeah, it was great. And I actually tried to tune into this idea of writing about something that isn't to do with like my personal experience, but then it ended up being that anyway. Like I started it, and then it ended up being through a recent experience. So although it was more like me looking into someone else's emotion, it was still personal to me.
Absolutely,
rather than me fabricating this story. I always find that I can't, when I do that, or I try to do that, I can never connect with the song once it's finished, and then I can't like tune into it and like perform it, you know? Which is
no, I think it just kind of varies of different artists and songwriters. Like for example, that's all I used to do, and it was just kind of very much. I used to write a lot of love songs and stuff like that. I kind of found as I got more into production.
Every song's a love song.
Every song is a love song.
Yeah, first.
I'm trying to find. But yeah, no, I got good to that. I kind of quite like making, like fiction stories of characters who are just obviously not me, and I quite like.
So because you're afraid. You're afraid.
I'm terrified.
You're afraid. You're afraid of what's really in there.
I'm really scared to see what's actually what my.
I think it's like you don't need to look.
No,
sometimes.
No, absolutely. But like for example, we have a song. We have a song called "Selfish," and it's about this. That kind of typical. When I wrote it, it was like that typical LA sort of like, oh my god, let's go and get a Starbucks. Yeah. That's sort of like kind of like and I think not that there's anything wrong with that, but it was just my perception of like, okay, well, how far can I push that stereotype? And then with that, with the song and the lyrics, what can I do with the production to make that kind of like that sort of, it's like I kind of like creating a world for I guess that character.
That's cool, man. I wish I could do that.
I mean, you can do that. You just
I probably can.
You need to find it.
Yeah, I think it's like it's just difficult. It actually slows me down writing by only because like I'm not waiting to feel inspired or waiting to be emotional, but like in any way, or waiting for something eventful to happen in my life. But I do feel like I get stuck in this trap of only writing when those things happen. And if I sit down with a guitar or sit down in Logic or whatever, and I try and write when I'm feeling all right, I find it really difficult because fabricating the idea is just something that I haven't done enough of, I think that if you're waiting for those moments to hit, you're not going to find those moments that they can come around regularly. Thing is, you have to go out to find them. I think a lot of people who go, because I've been guilty of it, and I'm sure all of you guys have, is writer's block and stuff like that, where you're going through those moments where you just feel really shit and you're just like, fuck, I can't write anything good and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, like, probably 1 in 20 ideas you write is actually going to be decent. You're going to get excited about it, and you're going to be like, cool, whatever. Like, I'm going to finish this. So I think it's about not waiting for those moments to come. It's about going out and find them.
Got to show up to work,
got to show up to work.
You always pinned this to me, and it was like, I can't remember the phrase you used, but it was about like churning it out. Basically what Mike just said about like churning it out. You got to go to work to get something good. Like you can't just sit around because
you got to go to work to make anything. It's like
you don't get hummus without grinding some chickpeas.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dip me up.
And like even if it's like, I don't know, even if it's not the best hummus you've ever made, it's still like, you just by going through those motions, you're gonna make exercising.
Shout out Smalls.
The more you do it.
Yeah, like if you just sit down and play guitar, your fingers are going to get a bit stronger or something.
It's little steps.
I think it's like I think the best thing for me is just remembering to not be scared of it. Not like it just doesn't matter. And also like removing all the pressure. And if whatever I'm working on isn't, if it really isn't good and I just feel low doing it, then just go and work on something else that makes you feel good, you know, like work on a song that isn't quite finished yet but you like, you know. And that's still better than, I don't know, like I think writer's block, people like just completely like shy away from writing a lot because they're scared to face the fact that they can't do this thing that they're kind of maybe defining themselves on.
Or you know, just feel like they can't start or they can't, you know, anything. It's just like it will come. So Humphrey, how's it? You know, you're a MarthaGunn, big guitar player. You know, shredding with the long hair.
Lead guitar player.
Sorry.
It's important.
Lead guitar player. It's important.
Yeah, we defined it. We spent so long not defining it.
You definitely
are. Look at your hair.
Yeah, I know.
The lead guitar player plays the lead. Oh yeah, because you play the least amount of guitar. So
Max, who's the other guitar player in the band, he's like so much better at guitar than me. And when we first started, like we were always like, oh no, we don't need rhythm and lead, man. And what that meant was that we just both like fucking stroked our egos the whole time and just played whatever we wanted, and we thought that would be our thing, but then we realized that actually it doesn't really work. So like it's not like rigid, but I am the lead guitar player. Nice. I play more melodic stuff. He plays more like harmonic stuff. So
okay, cool. Just so we got an exclusive there. Humphrey Luck is the lead.
Yeah. Also, that doesn't matter though. Like I feel like a dick. You know?
That's not getting edited out.
I did want to be a Slash when I was younger.
Every word that he said.
And now it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like you guys have been recording a lot recently.
Yeah. Like we spent like a month in a studio in Devon called Middle Farm last summer to record like a bigger body of work. And I'm going to start releasing tracks from that body of work soon.
Yeah, how was that? Do you feel good about it? Do you feel
really good about it?
Yeah. Like like a month in a studio is quite a long time. I mean,
it was intense.
I can imagine, because I've only done like, you know, I think the most I've done is like 5 days, and you're so in the zone of it. But
that's still a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But a month.
That's like just enough to go deep, I think.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of.
You went fully deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because what we were talking about earlier about how you think about songs individually. Like when you, it was really cool to like cook up a load of songs together, because like I actually think it's like quite an old ethos to like be like, oh, all the drums on an album should sound the same, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like I think it is really cool when songs sound really uniquely different. But when songs are like being cooked up together, even if the drum sound is different or something, like they all have this kind of sonic thread through them, because that's what you are at that moment. Like if you're like producing tracks ground up track by track, like you're constantly evolving. But if you're doing that all at once, that's all the same people with all the same influences at that particular moment. Yeah, going up together. Like, so that was kind of cool. It was the most amount of songs I've recorded at once. No,
I've been fortunate enough to hear some of them.
Yeah, they're fucking sick.
Yeah, fucking sick.
Yeah,
really
I listened today. It was very good.
Yeah, really great. You lucky kids are in for something great. If you haven't checked out MarthaGunn, check out MarthaGunn.
Yeah, something good's
amazing.
about to happen.
Something great.
Yeah,
really good.
Something great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what about you, Ryan? What's going on musically?
Recorded like an EP's worth of music early last year
at Abbey Road
Studios.
Woo,
yes.
woo, name drop.
Woo! No, it was good. We recorded it with our friend Theo, who saw us at our first ever show. He's like studying there, and he just wanted to help us out basically, and we got to use all the equipment, and it was great. And we released our first single end of last year called Born a Child, and we've got a song coming out on
10th of Feb, isn't it?
Yeah, 10th
Might be
of
out
February.
by the time this is out.
By the time this podcast goes out, your song
Okay,
will be
cool.
out. Yeah,
Great. Okay, yeah, we have a song called "Burn Out the Fire" and it's out apparently.
There we go.
There we go.
It's out now.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's good. It's just been, a long time coming, but we've started. We're here. Yeah, it's a lot. We're doing it all ourselves, and but it feels good. When you're doing everything yourself, all the visuals, all the videos. We've got a good team around us of friends that do like photography and some film stuff as well, and like help co-writing and all that. So yeah, feels good. Feel good about it.
Yeah,
feels great.
Did you say February the 10th?
The 10th.
And do you guys have a song coming out?
Funny you should say that, my friend. Yeah, but by this time, like I said, by this time podcast's out, we will have a new song out. It's on the 11th.
All right, no pressure, mate.
I know.
I think we've got a song coming out on the 11th as well.
You actually?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Here we go.
We're going to be release day buddies.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
I think.
The real. Cheers. Yeah. Well done. The real question is, the real battle to see is who gets on New Music Friday.
Oh yeah.
You probably will.
Not
I
us.
doubt we will.
But we should totally have like a little party.
Yeah, we should. Another one of these.
Four of us.
Yeah.
No one else, because it's it's lockdown.
Make sure you comment in the comments with which song you like the most.
Yeah, we want actually a battle.
We need to race it.
Yeah.
Like positives and negatives of all three tracks.
Yeah.
Go
be brutal.
Be brutal, but not too brutal to hurt. Like, I don't want to be sat in my room crying for 3 days.
Hurt my feelings. It's
fine. You do that enough already.
If they hurt our feelings, then we might have something to write about.
I know, but sometimes it just cuts deep, and you're just there and you're like, dude, maybe it's true.
If anything I do ever gets reviewed by Anthony Fantano, like I won't be able to stop myself from watching it.
Oh really?
But I'm so scared.
You can like tweet him your songs, and then he like picked some like unknown artist.
Shit.
Yeah. Like those people are good. Or he just sends out reviews back. I actually wonder if he's got a team that tell him what to say sometimes, because how does one bloke listen to that many albums? I just don't understand.
He does seem like a real music.
Like he must do a review video every single day.
If it's a full-time job,
if it's a full-time job, and he's doing it every day, he's probably listening out for something. But the thing is that I respect his opinion, but then at the same time, if you do an album and you're really honest to it, and you're like, yeah, I think this is great, I think I love this, this is my body of work, this is what I'm putting out. And then you watch his video and he's like, no, this is shit.
Yeah. How
much do you let that impact you? So I'm sure we've all had our fair share. I certainly have of like comments of being like, this.
But he actually like hates a lot of artists that I love. So it's like, but sometimes, like if I really love something and he's like shits on it, I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it makes you think differently though.
But he makes good points though.
Yeah,
so it's
he
like he has this really
critically
critical mind, and it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, if I've had an emotional reaction to something and I like it, that's for me. But like, because he has this way of thinking about music and analyzing it, it kind of bursts the bubble sometimes, and it's like, oh, maybe it's like, that's a good point, maybe it's not that good.
Well, I think I'd be like happy with a 5.
Yeah.
Like anything under
above
that.
a 5.
Anything under that, maybe
5
a 4 would be fine.
And a yellow check shirt, maybe.
Yeah.
A strong shirt.
But like, if you got a 3, I think that would be pretty.
You should quit at that point.
Well, he actually has a massive influence though. On, like people listening. So I think if you did get above 5, you'd probably be or you got really bad. I think if you got like a 0, people would listen to you.
You still get the clout, because
people are like, I want to hear.
Then they're going to be like a mob like mentality and just hurtful abuse.
But he gives a lot of like my influences, like bad reviews. But
like
it's subjective, isn't it?
It's very constructive, and he makes like good points. So whether you agree or disagree, it's an interesting take.
Yeah. And I do like especially with album reviews, it's like there's albums I love that he has given maybe not such a good review, but when he's going track by track, like the good tracks still get a good review.
Yeah.
And it's just like objectively as maybe a whole body of work, it doesn't work as, so I don't know. I don't know how it would emotionally
It's an
affect
interesting
me.
point, Humphrey, and I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're tied on time.
We're tied on time.
Do you want
So
to ask us about us?
No, we don't have. Yeah, we've got a new song coming out. Listen, well, you've probably heard it by now. If you haven't, listen to it because it's sick. Nierra Creek have got a new song out. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. It's sick. MarthaGunn, you definitely release it on the 11th.
It's 11th or 12th.
All right, so they all have a new song out. Listen to it. We all have new songs out. Listen to them. They're all great. We're great. You're great. Keep it real. And on that, we also have a music video. Watch that, please, so we can get some money. Great. I mean, I think we've done the outro, but I'll do it again. Thank you all very much for watching our first podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll definitely do some more. After lockdown because we're COVID friendly.
Or more episodes of this.
Or more if you want more of this with us, we have plenty more to talk about because we just talk shit basically all day.
We could do like specific segments.
Yeah,
like
I think I still want to do the roast one where we just make a roast dinner.
That's good.
But we could probably
try.
We could probably
roast.
Yeah, we could prepare
roast.
the roast in here and then cook it downstairs and eat the roast.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we've got. I mean, if you've got an idea, chuck it in the comments or just message us or whatever. But yeah, represent. Lots of love.
This has been Good Conversations with Good Peach featuring
Ryan from Nierra Creek.
There we go.
And Humphrey from MarthaGunn.
Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
Yeah.